Hi, I'm back.
Hey, welcome back.
Welcome back, welcome. That's a reference from before I was even born.
That's
So
a
yeah,
reference from like Eric was only in his 20s.
I think you mean his 120s. Yeah.
Like Eric, I like when your
What?
age gets like dilated, so it's like you've
Yeah,
like 1 year is a decade. Like
He's
yeah,
he's like
it's
Exactly.
he has
Yeah.
reverse dog years.
I was gonna say
it's
reverse cat years. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
yeah, I was the one who carved Croatoa into the tree at Roanoke. So I mean, I was
Yeah.
probably like 130 at that point. I don't know.
Yeah.
Eric,
Yeah.
According,
are you saying you were there?
I might have been there.
Yeah.
That
honestly,
was
Eric hasn't
I
watched
know, I
any
know.
of DC
you
Abridged.
haven't watched.
I know exactly what you're talking about. But yeah, that was
Yeah.
my
Yeah, you're in our lore. You're our Vandal Savage.
yeah. I was,
Exactly.
I was
I was
not quite
there.
Vandal Savage. I might have been there.
Yeah. You're Shakespeare's father, whose mother
Hmm.
is Elizabeth. Yeah. This is
Did
all.
you or did you
This is
not
all
make up your
canon.
son?
I I can't answer that type of question on air.
He can't answer that he was actually the bard all along.
Exactly.
Mm,
I am Shakespeare.
If the shoe fits.
Wow, just patting yourself on the back there.
Yep.
This is the show.
This is a weird one because we didn't have a plan for it at all, and I'm also coming off like a month and a half of not doing this at all.
Yeah, yeah. So we're all experiencing this at the same time together.
yeah,
Drag out the
Yeah.
awkwardness for
I
everybody
already
involved.
experienced this.
yeah. Connor, last time you were on, I wasn't being visited by like half of the plagues from the Bible. So
Oh,
I've had the bugs today. I've had the flooding.
oh, really? You guys had flooding today?
Oh, this is like the worst flooding I've had since we lived here. It's like It's not bad. It's just like if I walk in the basement, there's like spots where it's like it lifts the tiles up in some areas.
Whoa.
Christ.
Not like floating, but like they kind of like popping them off the ground a little bit. But like
Mhm.
it's just I'm just that close to sea level though. Like it's just where
Right.
we live.
Mm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, I miss
But
rain
still,
already.
fuck that.
I can tell you that much.
No. The only thing the rain has been good for is washed away all of the cicadas.
Mm.
For at least now, for today. And then
Right.
once it gets hot again, because they're so bad that like it delayed flights in Dulles for like 7 hours.
See, I don't know
And
why
you
you're
can
not.
see them on Doppler radar.
I don't know why you're not saving those husks because they're full of protein. And when
No,
they
Mhm.
fully
Rose.
overthrow the government and reinstall,
Oh my! I was like doing something in my yard, and I like looked kind of like over the edge of my deck, so like where like the deck and there's like the house is like a 4-inch gap. I looked over, and it was just like layers of the shells.
do you
It's
pile them up and
disgusting.
jump them like leaves?
Oh god, you could. It'd be very crunchy.
Did you see any of the cicadas that fucked themselves to death?
Oh, with their
Which is
butts fell off. Yes,
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
that's
seen
the
them.
weird that have the weird fungus, right?
Yeah,
Get busy living
Yeah.
or get busy dying. I
yeah.
guess.
The Brood X, which sounds like an X-Men thing, are the 17-year ones. Those are the ones that are doing that because they're tripping out.
Mm.
The regular ones, they actually trip out on psilocybin
Oh,
and they get all
Oh.
horny
so once again, why aren't you eating these things?
because they're the
If they're full of
size of like
psilocybin,
the size of like a fat Sharpie cap, like like
Oh.
the really wide ones.
that means they can absorb more of those wonderful fucking
Yeah,
hallucinogens.
oh, yeah.
Right.
Like Rose
Yeah.
ate so many that like I cut back on her food.
Oh wow. Wow.
Like
Rose is just living the movie Color Out of Space. Just
like every time she would go out, there'd be like she'd eat like 5 or 6. And she goes out like
Christ.
a couple times a day. So like 10 times like
Right.
in a whole day. It's like she's eating like 40 of them in a day. That's so much. We're just like,
Yeah.
she got like she got like way bigger.
That reminds me of we had a dog come in for suspected foreign body. Not really suspected because the guy watched the dog do it, but he found like an old fly trap in someone's backyard, and his dog walked up and just gobbled it. Like,
Oh god. Wait, like one of
Oh.
those paper things that's like
like those bags of shit that like they just fly into.
Oh God. Okay, that's worse.
Yeah,
Oh.
the dog was fine. Like he was like, we were sitting there talking about like, I don't know what can happen.
Right.
Just
I
shits out
imagine
the
the worst
bag.
part would be the bag. Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
the.
Yeah, the
Ew.
bag and like whatever chemicals were in it, or whatever the hell's in that bag. But yeah, he was fine.
Well,
He took,
sometimes
like,
it's just sugar
antibiotics and-
water. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. It's most of the time it's just like
Sugar
they can go in and they can't get out.
Oh no, I was referencing Men in Black.
And your
With-
hit,
I won't-
get his hand off your bones.
All I'm imagining is like a bag filled with Vincent D'Onofrio's.
Looking all sweaty and mutated in
Just from like all of his different movies and stuff. Like
Yes.
because his
There
Law
was
and
a
Order
man
one
on
is
the
just
corner.
sniffing. Yeah, his Law and Order one is just sniffing, and then his Kingpin is just staring at a wall.
it's just melting Vanessa silently.
Oh God.
just massaging his
Wait,
cufflink.
They all fist speak. They all just go, yes, I am a fly.
Well, that one does.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and then the one that's weird is they all look at the one from the cell and they're like, "The fuck is that?"
I've never seen that whole movie, but every time I watch it, I'll catch like
that
a
is-
segment of it somewhere. I'm like, what the fuck?
That is
this?
a movie dumpster movie that you guys should do.
Yeah,
I think we talked about doing it.
It's
It is.
visually stunning, and that's really about the best thing it's got going for it.
what I've heard.
It has one really miscast person in it.
Jennifer Lopez.
Oh, I was gonna know Vince Vaughn.
Oh yeah, I
Oh, yeah,
forgot
that
about
makes
that.
Vince Vaughn is like he's physically looks great, but it's like you needed basically you needed other people for Vincent D'Onofrio to do stuff with, and they just
Right.
couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. That guy made one other movie that I'm aware of. Isn't it? This is the director Tarsim, I think.
Yeah, he was like a music video guy, right?
Yeah, he was. He did shit. I can't remember the name of the other movie off the top of my head, but I saw it.
He did the other Henry Cavill movie. He the one.
Fuck.
Tarsim Singh is his name.
Wait,
Yeah, he did
Immortals?
Immortals.
Oh,
Yeah, he did
my
Immortals.
Oh, I
God.
forgot about that. Yeah,
Dude,
Yeah, it was him.
that's a movie dumpster movie.
I totally forgot
yes,
about
it
that movie.
I'm looking. He did The Fall, The Cell, Mirror, Mirror.
The Fall is what I'm thinking of. But yeah, that's another just ridiculously visually striking movie that is like, you're certainly trying to tell a story here.
You're giving it your best shot.
Yeah.
Immortals has sequences that made me like just belly laugh while watching it because it was so ridiculous looking.
Well,
Like,
it's
that
also
movie,
got Mickey Rourke in it.
yeah, it both looks expensive and also incredibly cheap.
Yep.
It
Yes.
looks
It's
like
it's a 300 ripoff. Like
it's an Asylum level quality 300 ripoff. Like it's that bad, but it came from a major studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the thing is, I feel like it was a little bit too homoerotic at times for major audiences to absorb it. That's why it didn't do well.
That and like all the
Yeah.
aesthetic choices are bizarre. Like there's just people who are just painted gold.
Yeah, that's where like if you know it's the guy that did The Cell, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's just a little bit over the
I
line.
think Vincent D'Onofrio has
Yeah.
like demon horns made out of his hair.
Yeah, yeah. And there's a vivisected horse. That's
Oh my
still
god, that is
alive.
the cool. That's like such a cool scene. It's disturbing, but it's like it's visually stunning. Like that's
Hannibal
that
Lecter saw
movie's
that
an
and
art
went,
piece.
What was that, Connor?
Said Hannibal Lecter saw that and went.
Oh, I can't remember what I was listening to. They talked about like seeing storyboards for that, and they're like, "How the fuck are you gonna do that? Like, how is that gonna look?" And then they did it, and they're like, "Yeah, it definitely is." Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's definitely one to check out if you haven't seen it yet, though. That and like I was saying earlier, City of Lost Children. I can't believe any of you heathens haven't watched that movie.
Yeah, that's a black mark on me.
Yeah.
Oh, can't believe you.
So
that one's long overdue. Yeah.
The Conjuring, The Devil is Devon Sawa's Hands came out last week.
Wait, Devon Sawa's not actually in the movie, right?
Oh God, no.
No. He's in the movie Hunter x Hunter, a movie everybody should see. So I can talk about it with people. But yeah, he's not in the film.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know of an
I
anime
told you
called
about this
Under X
movie
Hunter.
multiple
I'm
times.
fucking with you. Of course you have.
I mean, just watch the movie. Just watch the movie. I need to talk with somebody about what
I was
happens.
like, I'm not amused.
I need to decompress about the things that occur to a certain actor in that film.
I'm never watching
that's
it.
a conversation. You son of a you motherfucker.
Never watching it.
Did I tell you guys that every once in a while, Izza will message me and just go, "Hey, I still haven't watched The Lawnmower Man," and that's it. That's all
Oh, it's
Fair
him
enough.
missing out.
Is it? Is it?
Yeah. Well, only if you're watching the oh my god, the robot monkey cut.
The Cybo Man cut. Yeah.
Cybo Man cut.
Wait, what? What happens in the Cyberman?
There's like a director's
subplot.
cut featuring a subplot about the escaped chimp from the beginning, who then
Oh,
shows up
okay.
at
Yeah.
Job's house and becomes his fucking friend, and the cops show up and shoot him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Doesn't he
yeah.
end up wearing some ridiculous outfit at some point too?
Yes, it looks like a
Yeah.
RoboCop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's wearing like VR goggles and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
The only thing that's actually plot relevant is like they explain better why Pierce Brosnan's wife just pieces the fuck out. I think a little bit more.
Yeah, in the standard cut, she's just like, "You
She's
don't
just
take me to
gone.
the city, and I'm very upset," and just poof, disappears.
Yeah, she's just gone from the movie.
Yeah,
I
the
think I
director's
saw
cut, she's
that
fucking
movie.
lit up by machine guns.
I saw that movie once in the theater, and that's it. Didn't need to see it again.
Yeah, that was like a 90s, like early 90s, like Showtime or HBO movie, like all the time.
Mm.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I think I saw the sequel before I ever saw Lawnmower Man.
Oh, was it Job's War?
Job's War. Thank you, Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that Sci-Fi Channel would have. I mean, that's how I saw Darkman 2 before I saw Darkman
Oh.
somehow.
That's one of those weird things that like my dad he loved Darkman, and we owned all the sequels on VHS.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god. The third one has Jeff Fahey, if I remember correctly. So
Yeah,
even
the second and
even
third
better.
one, they replaced Liam Neeson with the dude who plays the mummy in The Mummy.
Yes, he's in
The
every
Brendan
one of
Fraser
them
one?
after the first one. Yeah.
Yeah, and Jeff Fahey's been replaced with Matt Frewer, I think.
Yeah, well, because he had to be in
Yeah.
Darkman 3, Connor. He had to be there instead.
And they bring back the bad guy that dies in the first one in the second one.
Yeah.
Oh, the one.
Durant?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, the
Yeah.
cigar guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Called Revenge of Durant. That's the subtitle of the movie. Because why not?
Did the first Darkman really do that well that they needed to do not one but two sequels?
No, I think
was-
they made 4, Eric.
Oh
I
God,
One of
shoot
those
me!
movies.
Well,
Fucking kill
this
me.
is the era where there's like 7 crows.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, these
4.
were all direct to video. All of them.
Yes.
I mean, I knew that much, but I didn't realize there were that many. Like, how did anybody who was watching the third one go like, "Oh, the rich tapestry that the Darkman series is setting up"? Like,
Because they cost like $32 to make, because it's literally like you don't actually have special effects. You just have him like do like a coat over his face, and then it's another actor.
yeah, good point.
It is
Good
just
point.
like just dry mummying a guy and just calling it a day.
Oh,
That's-
I don't even know if they do that in the sequels.
No, yeah.
I don't-
My vague memories of the second one are like there's none of the wonder or just
No.
the prowess of the
Wow.
first one.
One of them has to do with the Japanese, I think.
Of course it
That
does.
sounds familiar.
They're
like,
taking
with
their
this-
cues from
with-
RoboCop 3.
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
skin technology. Oh my
I
god.
know
Is
that
RoboCop
there's-
3 the one with the kid?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's
That
the one
too.
where Peter Weller isn't even playing. Well, part 2 is the one with the kid who's the gang leader.
Okay, that's the one I was thinking. 3 is the
Okay.
one where the woman dies,
Yeah, and it's not even
Yeah,
Peter
yeah.
Weller as RoboCop
Oh.
either.
which can
Well,
go
he
back
had-
to something we talked about
Yeah.
before, where we weren't recording, is that woman from RoboCop is De Palma's ex-wife.
Yes.
Oh,
Whoa.
Yeah, she is. Nancy Allen is
Yes.
Palma's ex-wife. Yeah, they divorced shortly after Blowout, I want to say.
Yeah, she did 2 movies with him. They had a kid, and then they were like, yeah. It's like the weirdest explanation of the divorce. It's like, Yeah, we realized we got a kid. She's amazing, but we shouldn't be together.
Yeah.
This is suddenly
yeah.
boring.
Yeah.
See,
Uh,
I think the sorry to just go back to Darkman because that's fascinating to me. They any of the sequels, directors or writers, they should have continued to put the pink elephant in for the rest of the movies.
Yeah, they should.
It should have been the running theme.
should have been a triggering item.
Instead,
Exactly.
I think I'm having a lot of fun just trying.
I agree
to
with
remember the
that
plot of the
statement.
second one. God damn it, John! What are you doing here? Yeah.
He's
I
Leoing
remember the
us.
second one is like there's like a fake out with a female lead, where they kill her and very explicitly rape her to death.
Oh, wonderful.
Wait,
Great.
I missed. What are we talking about? Darkman?
I think this is my memory of Darkman 2, is that like they set up another woman who's not at all the woman from the first movie to be like the girl of the movie. Then she dies, and that's what spurs Darkman to come back.
Which is weird because isn't it
Sure.
Francis?
It's like a Charles Bronson movie.
Who is it in the first one? Francis
McDormand, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they weren't going to
Academy
get
Award winner?
her. Yeah, they weren't going to get her back. No.
Well,
she was
she
busy
didn't-
doing other things.
And I
It
mean,
was
really, no one.
1985.
She wasn't shitting. She wasn't shitting in a bucket, so nobody cared.
It was in
Right.
like
Pretty sure a Charles Bronson Darkman is just Death Wish 3.
Well, yeah, that's what that is. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I
You know,
just
John.
remembered? Way off topic. Didn't they remake Death Wish like 2 years ago with
It was
Bruce
Yeah,
Bruce
they
Willis.
did.
Eli
And
No,
Roth.
that never happened. That's a
And
lie.
directed by the director of the upcoming Borderlands, Eli Roth.
Oh.
This is all
Who's-
fake. None of this is real. This is all lies.
John,
Just
I'm
like
lamenting your-
Uncharted, Arlen.
I'm already lamenting your arrival.
Uncharted came out multiple years ago, John. It starred Tom Hardy and Tom Hardy and Riz Ahmed. And I will not
Oh,
accept
I thought you were
these
going to talk
lies.
about that short that Nathan Fillion did.
All right.
No, this
Anyway,
is an old
I just wanted to
bit
pop in
going...
and say hi. I'm gonna leave
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
Let
yeah.
you guys do it. Bye,
Yeah,
guys.
Yeah.
You
Right.
shut
Hi,
up. You
John.
gave us all these bad vibes and you're leaving. What the fuck?
I
funny
come
thing-
in, I spread chaos, and I leave with chaos.
I mean, that, you know what? This works with the stated theme of the show
I mean,
before
were we
we
all
even
just
started.
like, yes, tonight will be just rolling nonsense.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know what?
It all works.
Listen, to be fair, Leo kind of broke down the doors that anyone could just come and go, like a revolving door. So
I mean, yeah, this is true.
I mean, he
You know,
no one was
He ran
stopping
so you
anyone
could
from
walk.
doing it.
no one's telling me what to do it. Leo was just the one ballsy enough to do it, so now everyone can do it.
yeah. The world that he unleashed. The horrors.
To get back to Connor's original premise for where we're going to go, though, is talking about the new Conjuring movie. Although,
So
go
Oh
ahead.
yeah, I
was
haven't
gonna say,
seen it
like,
yet. So
so-
I'm gonna dip out on this one. So have fun, guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah.
Conjuring universe, there's what, like 6 films?
I think it's 8. I think
Oh,
it's
Jesus
Jesus
Christ.
Well, does that include La Lorna, La Lorena?
Yeah,
they
La
recently
La
came out-
Llorona.
Actually, I think they recently came out and retconned that one out of the universe.
Oh,
Well,
they,
okay.
they Superman
Well,
afford it.
that movie's
No,
boring. So good.
Well, yeah, I agree. So I read the article. The way Michael Chave says it is, it was not intended to be part of the Conjuring universe. That was
Uh-huh.
something that happened accidentally.
What?
What?
When it's
Apparently,
blatantly being advertised as from the team that brought you.
he said it was a thing of like, well, we cast the same priest from the first Conjuring, so we were like, yeah, why not? Let's have it be the same priest.
How
And
fucking sad.
See, I feel like this is just like exactly what's going to happen with Morbius. It's like, oh, we cast Michael Keaton in it. Yeah, but no.
Mhm,
Mm-hmm.
mhm. But yeah, it technically is part of the Conjuring universe. Which I guess quick rundown for people whose first show this is. Most of those movies have not been good outside the main 3. Somehow the
Second-
Annabelle movies have been the strongest of them all.
the second Annabelle was good. The first one was ho hum, and the third one was essentially just another Conjuring movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
And those are
I mean,
movies
it even
based
does
off of
the
a
opening.
haunted Raggedy Ann doll, right?
Yeah, even though the doll
Yeah.
in the movies is very
Way more
different and much
terrifying?
more expensive. Yeah.
Yeah.
It actually would
she's
be.
more
I
obviously
think.
terrifying.
I actually think it'd be more terrifying if it was just a Raggedy Ann doll. Like something
Yeah.
so plain would be way. It's kind of what makes that first Child's Play work. That
Mhm.
it's like that was a
Yeah.
real thing.
Well, my buddy was a little bit different than the Chucky doll.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
but
Chucky wasn't
when I
a real
saw
thing.
when I
Yeah.
saw my buddy in Toys R Us, I would not walk down that aisle.
Yeah, understandable because he's a horrible homunculi of
He's a
the
weird little
lost
ginger
souls.
robot.
Yeah, he wasn't even a
Yeah.
robot though. He was just a doll. But I
Yeah,
mean,
he
he was
didn't
filled
talk
with
or
the souls
anything.
of the damned. So yeah,
Well-
it was no good.
He was
Wasn't
their
there an
Teddy Ruxpin.
edition? Well, wasn't there an edition that was like a Ruxpin where it did have a
Yeah,
tape
I think
player?
later on. Yeah.
If it
Okay,
was,
yeah.
I don't know anything about it, but I can't imagine the horrors of seeing that thing like with realistic teeth and opening its mouth and talking.
Oh,
Yeah.
we had like the Teddy. I had a Teddy Ruxpin as a child, and it freaked everybody out in the house because once
Rich.
those things were so. I don't know. I think it came off the back of the truck.
I had one. Of these for
That was in
Green Day
Staten
tapes.
Island.
Okay, well then, yeah, there's a lot of things that fell off a lot of trucks in Staten Island.
But like, yeah, like the tapes would like stick and just play on their own, and
Oh,
like,
good.
and then the batteries were slowly dying. So in the middle of the night, they'd just be like, "Come play with me."
Oh no!
That
Like-
would be outside in a fire immediately.
I think we
Mhm.
couldn't find it. I think it got put like in an attic
Oh,
or a
even worse.
closet.
Someone put it behind the walls. We don't know why they would do this. Also, there's a full-grown man back there.
But is there really? Is it just a ghost?
Or is it Benicio del Toro? I don't know.
He knows you
even
have
know.
a
Harlan,
Gundam.
he's not a goblin. Calm down.
Whoa.
No, he's a
Wow.
bootlegger.
Nobody outside of this show. I like The Conjuring Part 3, but I don't love it.
Fair. I was pleasantly surprised by how scared I was by parts of it. It's obviously not the best of the movies. If I were to rank them, which I hate doing, it's the first two Conjurings, Annabelle 3, and then this one, maybe. Yeah, I haven't rewatched Annabelle 2 in a while, so it might be like tied with that one. So yeah.
Yeah, this movie was okay at best for me. Like there were some okay scenes here and there, but it just you could tell it was painfully bereft of Juan. Like it was nowhere on
There's
the
a
same
startling
level
lack
as-
of Juan.
Yes.
Yeah. I
it
mean,
was nowhere near the quality
yeah.
that the first two movies were.
I totally agree. It's not on the same level. Like James Wan is a very unique filmmaker, and that's why I have fallen in love with just about every other movie that I've seen of his. His style is so distinct that like all of these Conjuring spinoffs have really missed that for me. I think the only reason I like Annabelle 3 as much as I do is because it feels like somebody actually trying to give it some sort of personality.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it works. And the same thing with the parts of Annabelle 2 that I remember really liking.
Why I like Spiral so
So-
much, because that movie did some
Yeah.
stuff I've never seen in a Saw movie before.
Yeah, that's what I've heard from the people that really like it, or the people that at least appreciate it, is that there's something more going on than just the same old stunts over and over again. But at the same time, compared to La Llorona, and I think that's a big part of why I did react as well as I did, is La Llorona is like soulless as a movie. Like there's nothing unique or interesting about that movie to me. I was thoroughly bored by all of it.
Mhm.
So like going into this, knowing that it's the same guy, I was like, this is gonna be probably really bad. There's a good chance that this could be The Nun bad, which I think is still the worst Conjuring thing.
Yikes.
And I don't know. I thought that this was better than La Llorona.
Well, I mean,
feel like
that's not a very high hurdle to jump. So
yeah, but I mean, so I got the sense of I'm taking over somebody else's thing, so I need to step up. That's the feeling that I got from the movie. Like a bit more of a sense of, well, I can't fuck this one up. I
See,
can't take over and just screw this one up. But I don't know.
but how much of that was because of God, I can't remember or even attempt to pronounce her last name. The one that plays Lorraine, Vera.
Vera
Yeah,
Farmiga, yeah.
That's it, Farmiga. Like, how much of is it because of her and Patrick Wilson? Like,
That's
because
fair.
they are
Yeah.
they are what carries the series at this point, and when James Wan is involved, like,
Yeah,
and
I
that would
can
be
totally see that. Yeah.
that would be my biggest way to sell at least the first two to you, Lou. Everything after that is that you make your own fate. Is that the first two are fucking phenomenal performances by both of them, and
Yeah.
they're just well told ghost stories.
Yeah. Yeah, and their chemistry as a couple, I can't put it into words. It's so natural, and it feels like
Yeah.
these two have been doing it forever. Like I could see them like putting The Conjuring away for like 20 years. At least the characters of Ed and Lorraine, and like coming back later, and doing it again, and it would feel exactly the same. Because they just fit into these versions of these people so well. These very cleaned up non-huckster versions,
superhero versions of the Warrens.
Yeah, exactly. That's the other thing. It's almost comical to see how like pure-hearted and golden they've painted the Warrens in this, at least in these movies, because they were fucking circus carnies. Yeah, I mean they were snake oil salesmen.
And they're also like golems, like looking. They're not like these Hollywood looking act like.
No, they look like
they're
people.
not fucking Ocean Master.
They're the most Connecticut people that you could ever imagine.
They look like the type of people that would be trying to convince you that, oh yeah, no, your child is possessed and this, that, and the other thing. Yeah, they
so they would be working on Vince McMahon's like writing team.
They would have a show on Discovery.
I mean, they probably were, because again, they're in Connecticut, so like, I wouldn't be surprised if they knew Vince.
They pitched him the zombie idea.
That was actually her hand that came out of.
Oh god!
Vince actually killed Ed Warren. He's like, "How dare you pitch?"
Oh my god! Like, the Conjuring, the hand, and it's about like Mae Young and the hand that's haunting her womb.
I hate this.
You hate it, but you love it at the same time.
So
know you do.
It's your fault that I've been consuming so much like wrestling content over the last couple of days.
I felt the urge, but I haven't gone and made an effort yet, just because I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen if I start watching again. I don't really want to know.
Yeah, don't open that box.
Yeah,
it can only work out badly.
Yeah, leave it closed forever.
But the Conjuring movies also have that like the trivia behind the real shit that I think is interesting. Although this movie is the one where I'm like, maybe you should have picked something else.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand why they didn't pick the what was it, the Werewolf of London, because they already did England. So I guess it would feel weird to go back there. They want something different.
Where does this one take place?
Better. So it takes place in Connecticut again. But it's like backwoods Connecticut, which I guess has to be a thing.
Yes, but there are, but usually the bad parts of Connecticut is like where Aaron Hernandez is from, and it's like really shitty inner city streets.
That's certainly not where this movie takes place.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I just feel like you think it's in Connecticut again, and I'm like, oh, and the worst movie they did is the one with the brown people. So like,
well, to be fair, Annabelle 2 takes place in like New Mexico or something. So there's quite a few.
That's mostly white people with like turquoise.
Yeah.
True. But it did have I only know him as the guy from The Bridge. I should know him from something else, but he's the guy who was in the American version of The Bridge. What's his fucking name? He was in a bunch of stuff. But yeah, like it's a pretty diverse cast relatively to the rest of these Conjuring movies, which is admittedly a lot of white folks.
Yeah, it's just it's kind of interesting, like juxtaposed to like what Saw did with its new one, going like the other way with like a lead character and stuff. So
Right.
like,
well, and based off the things that I've heard and Connor has said and various other reviews, they made that a central theme of the movie.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting direction for a Saw movie to go.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, of all the long-running series that exist, it's kind of shocking to me that Saw would be the one that would take a stance on something along these lines.
it is
That and, like, I can't believe how durable this fucking series is too.
yeah, I would say like Saw actually like conceptually seems like it could do it the easiest. Like you'd have to
Right.
kind of do a La Lorna good to do that, like to go for a ghost story and like. Although, have they done anything in New Orleans?
In
With
the
The
in the
Conjuring?
Conjuring stuff?
Yeah, in the Conjuring stuff.
No,
No.
and that's
Like how?
So if I had like a big overriding comment on the universe, which it's a universe that I feel like they kind of stumbled into. They were like, we should make this a universe, and nobody said no. Nobody was like,
It said to an empty
maybe
room.
this is bad, right? Maybe this is not a good idea. Is that like the stories haven't been distinct enough, so nobody has said that set it in New Orleans. That set it in this place that is interesting that has like a lot of ghost lore. It's like The Conjuring, or no, the first Annabelle movie is in L.A. and we're gonna get a guy who's obsessed with the Manson murders to make it, and he's gonna basically make a Manson movie without Manson in it.
I guess it's more
Which is
like
what that
they could
movie's
just
about.
do a movie about voodoo, like or
Right.
Yeah.
voodoo
Well,
ghosts.
anything. They could pick anything. They could pick anything that's like distinct and interesting and has like a clear connection to the paranormal. But I feel like they, for the most part, don't do that.
Well,
Or at least,
it's too
yeah.
easy to stick to the Connecticut area because, I mean,
Right.
it's not like Ed and Lorraine did a whole lot outside of the United States. Like their actual involvement with what the second movie was based on was minuscule at best.
Aren't they so far gone from like what real life is that they could just be
Yes.
like what?
Yeah,
Why even
that's
try?
my logic
That's, I
as
think,
well.
one of-
Like,
that's one of the
yeah.
series' strength is because everything's so fucking dialed up and hectic that
Mhm.
you forget that it's based in reality, and so nothing like that really matters at that point.
Right. Like they should have just stuck with it. They should have leaned in to the
Yeah.
fact that it's not the real Ed and Lorraine. Like one of my favorite things about The Conjuring 2 is like the nun didn't exist. They never like confirmed that Lorraine like fought a demon
Yeah.
named Valak. They made that up. Because apparently the tests that they did for an earlier version of The Conjuring didn't work, so they added the nun. And the nun is a complete fabrication, and she's terrifying. So like just lean into it. Just make it
Yeah.
fake. Don't try to hold on to this legitimacy that you don't have.
I'm at a point where I wish they would just change their names. Would have, at the
Yeah.
beginning.
Well,
They probably should have.
I'm wondering if they signed some sort of ridiculous contract with the Warrens for their representation, because I know they've been involved in a couple different litigious situations where like somebody was writing something about them and they sued the pants off of them, or they were publishing some sort of stories about them without their approval. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they can't step too far out of the bounds because they would lose the rights to those names.
If I remember correctly, I think that they tried to sue the producers of Poltergeist 3, because for those that haven't seen Poltergeist 3, there is an Ed and Lorraine counterparts in that movie, but they aren't named Ed and Lorraine. Yeah, there are very clear like Ed and Lorraine characters in, or not Poltergeist 3. Why did I say Poltergeist?
I don't know.
3. I have no idea why I said Poltergeist. I guess it kind of, but still, Amityville 3. There are very clear like Ed and Lorraine characters.
I was gonna say, and aren't they connected to like the Amityville stuff?
Well, they
in
came
real
in
life.
when everything was over, and they were like,
And it was
"We're
all
gonna help you make some money off of this."
yeah. They're connected to the bullshittery of that whole thing.
Yes. No. So there was already bullshittery. If you ask me, they amplified the bullshittery. They kicked it into overgear. They're the
Yeah.
ones who were responsible for the picture of like a kid or
In
something
the window.
Oh, that
Yeah.
black
in the
and no,
doorway.
yeah, it's the
Uh,
one it's in the hallway, and it's like it's creepy
Yeah.
as shit, but it's like, yeah, that didn't actually happen the way they're saying
Yes.
it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They came in after the guy. What's his name? Started
DeFeo?
saying DeFeo. Yeah. Started saying like
Mhm.
demons were talking to him. That was like his 7th excuse.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They came in and it became even more of a media circus than it already was.
Have they even?
Mm.
They haven't touched that in the Conjuring universe, right?
No,
No,
because
not at
they don't
all.
own the rights. Yeah,
No,
they
that, I
they
feel like
well,
that's also like blending too many. Like you're gonna get a bad
yeah.
video out of that.
Well,
They
and
yeah.
I thought they implied that one of the flashbacks was at the Amityville house in one
I
of the
remember
Oh, they
movies.
did. I think that's
so
the second one.
the opening of Conjuring 2 is in the Amityville house, and I think that's as
It's,
far as they could go because
yeah,
that's the point in which they were involved. But they don't go any further than that. They don't name people or anything, um, which makes sense because again, I might be misremembering this. I do think the Warrens tried to sue over their likenesses being used in Amityville 3, um, which is fascinating, seeing as there are like a billion movies with Amityville in the title now because I guess public domain stuff.
Fucking mess of a
Um,
series.
Oh, I can't. It can't be in public domain, but I think it's just like
well,
everyone
I mean,
sold the shit out of the name and
yeah.
stuff.
yeah. Well, I don't think you can copyright a neighborhood. I don't. Yeah. Like,
I think it's if you called it something like that with the basis
mhm,
of like a murder house, you'd be in trouble.
right. I think what it is they so somebody copywrote the title The Amityville Horror. You can't just copyright the name of an entire community, and that's why
Yeah.
there is the Amityville creation, the Amityville blah blah blah. Like I think there's at least 20 or so
Oh
movies with
yeah,
Amityville and then a word in the title.
I can't.
Um,
The last one I remember is the Ryan Reynolds one, which I think is like a decade ago.
That was
yeah,
a remake. That was
That's
an
a remake
attempt to
of the '70s
yeah.
one, right?
yeah, that was an attempt to like relaunch, I guess, and do a new horror franchise.
No,
And
I've seen that. I couldn't tell you anything about it.
I rewatched
Um,
it within the past like 3 years, and it's
Oh,
not terrible,
mm,
but
does
it
Ryan
feels a
Reynolds
little.
show his abs?
Yeah, I believe so a few times.
Yeah, because I think it's
Um,
post Blade 3.
okay.
it's
Yeah, I mean,
around that time.
I was furiously masturbating, so I couldn't really tell if I was looking at his abs or. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
he does a good job in it. But yeah, it's a little bit too long in the tooth at times, I think.
Doing a quick count, there's 22 Amityville movies.
My
Jesus
Um,
Christ!
do you want to know some of these some of these
Why?
names? Or
Yes. Yeah.
um,
I need to.
Amityville Harvest, the
Oh.
Amityville Murders, Amityville: The Awakening, Amityville Prison.
I think I've seen
Okay.
The Awakening.
One of them was a TV movie. I remember that much.
Amityville Vanishing Point.
What
What? What?
is it about?
Amityville No
Cars?
Escape. I need to know. What? Okay, Amityville Vanishing Point.
In the year 2039, in future tech,
So,
the ghost
so it's
station.
one of it's one of those wiki pages where it's literally just the name of the movie and the year it was released and who's in it. No information about the plot whatsoever.
Oh, I just
Uh,
Googled Amityville movie and I'm just looking at all the covers and they're hilarious.
oh my god.
If I remember correctly, one of them, the TV movie one that I'm thinking of, there was a haunted lamp.
That scary, scary haunted lamp that everybody knows of.
Yes.
The iconic
Wow.
lamp.
Somebody made one 3 years ago.
Yeah, man. There's one from 2020. There's an Amityville
Okay, wait,
movie
wait.
from
There are
2020.
there are 4 in 2016.
Oh God,
yeah.
Lloyd Kaufman was in the Vanishing Point one.
Yeah,
And
yeah, that everything makes sense now. It all makes sense. I just sent the poster for it. Uh,
Yeah, that's one of the 4 of the 2016.
Oh my god.
Amityville Playhouse, Amityville Dollhouse, Amityville Asylum. Again, what? The only thing more confusing is they somehow made like sequels to the movie The Haunting in Connecticut, another case that the Warrens were involved in where they weren't featured because of lawsuits and legal stuff. But they made like a Haunting in Connecticut 2 Ghosts of Georgia or something like that. Um,
Wait, how
which
does that make sense? That doesn't make any sense. It's
that's
not in
that's the
Connecticut.
question. That's the question I asked Lou.
is
You're very
is
astute.
Haunting in Connecticut the one that has that girl who has like her spine bent backwards ridiculously?
That
I
sounds
think
familiar.
so.
I can't. I just know there was one that like the first one. I never even saw the second one, but I do remember specifically the little girl that like.
No. Haunting in
Mm,
Connecticut is with. It's a boy that's possessed.
Yeah, they moved
Yeah,
into an
okay.
old. I think like there's a morgue. I think in the basement. That's like the place was an old funeral
yeah.
home.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Virginia Madison is the mom.
I'm
Yeah.
seeing the poster and it's got the kid with the ectoplasm or whatever it is coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
But they had like ad campaigns selling the idea of ectoplasm. I think at some point I was like, wow, this is fucking reaching.
Sure. Shit. The was Haunting Connecticut. Didn't that have one of the Rudies in it? Was it Mara or?
Bruni?
I'm looking
I don't
at it
think
right
so.
No, I
now.
don't
I
think
don't
so.
see.
Okay. I'm thinking of. I thought
There
there was
was a lot of movies called The Haunting of.
Rooney Mara is in the Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
Yeah.
No, that's not what I'm thinking of. It's who's the one who has the red hair? Is that
That's Kate.
Okay, because she's the one I'm thinking of that was in one of those movies that came out around that time period.
Let's see.
I'm looking up her IMDb.
Let's see. Yeah, I got her. Let's see. Oh, I forgot she's in Brokeback. That's a ghost movie. That's a quintessential ghost film.
There's certainly some ectoplasm flying.
Well,
Yes,
she was
there's
in We Are Marshall, and
fluid.
there's a lot of people that die in that.
No, all right. I guess I was
Also based on a
envisioning
real life
something
story.
else.
She was in Urban Legends sequel
Nope.
called Bloody Mary.
Nope.
Oh yeah, that's right. She is in that.
All right. There must have been another actress who looks like her then, or I'm just an old man. And all white women.
Is it what's her
Could be a
name
little
that's
bit of
married to Sacha Baron Cohen?
No. I
No,
know what she looks like.
something else. Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, it's Eric's an old man. Wah, wah. What a surprise.
You get all
Yeah.
your ginger actresses confused.
Exactly. All my white red-haired girls confused.
How dare you?
She was in this other horror
Ireland on
movie.
Fox.
How dare you oppress them?
She was in this weird like body horror movie in 2015 though.
What was that?
Are you talking about Morgan?
No, it was I'm talking about Fan Four Stick.
Oh, you son of a bitch. You motherfucker. I didn't even see that coming.
That is still her #1 movie on her IMDb. How
I'm
sad is
not
that?
shocked. I'm not surprised in the least bit.
That poor woman.
Yeah, that poor Wade. She was so rich before she even started acting, woman.
Exactly.
That
yeah.
poor heiress.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
There's another Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie coming out too. Speaking of
Yeah.
franchises that won't fucking die.
Yeah, that's the one that we talked about where they stopped shooting after a week because they thought it was bad.
Thank God.
After
so it's like the
week.
Powerpuff Girls.
No, that's after a whole pilot. That is somewhat different.
Yeah. Oh man, I had no interest in that show, and now I'm like, I need to see what this is
I mean,
because it
here's the
has to
I'm
thing.
be
going in
so
once for
fucking bad.
curiosity, and then I'm bailing
Yeah.
that shit.
Oh my god.
Humanively, the group of us have watched more CW than any grown adult men should. Um,
hmm
but the CW is not for us. Um, which I know is a shock to some of us.
Arlen, I'm a
So
white man. Everything's for me. Come on.
uh,
right, yeah, and it should be made
there's one show.
to you. What was that?
There's one show that's good on there that is for us.
I'm not saying that none of it's good. I'm just saying like it's not made for us. It's not made for our age group. It's like
Then
I
who
almost
else is
overlap.
Walker? Who else is Walker made for?
Walker was made entirely for Jared Padalecki. That's
Thanks for sticking around for 15 years. Here's your show.
right. Here's your show. You can retire in your home state of Texas. You can shoot there with your wife, who was your co-star on Supernatural, and we'll keep the show on for 10 years, so you can just
So
live off
it's
that.
literally exactly the same as the original Walker.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, there's one major difference. There's one big difference there. To my knowledge, Jared Padalecki did not claim that Obama being reelected would be the start of 1,000 years of darkness. So that's a plus.
What?
Do you not remember this?
No.
Chuck Norris, before Obama's reelection, he put out a video where he's like, if we let Obama be reelected, it will be the beginning of 1,000 years of darkness before the
Here's the thing, Arlen.
Oh my
Chuck
God.
Norris didn't put out a video. Someone filmed in Chuck Norris's camp, filmed him because the man was like 60 when he was doing Walker Texas Ranger, and that was like 35 years ago.
Well, yeah, and he was already over the hill. He was already done as
He was-
an action star.
Yeah, he was done as an action star before he even did a canon movie. Like
Oh, yeah.
he's like 40 in those movies in like the 80s.
Mhm.
Do you think the ghost of Bruce Lee is ever like, fuck, when he looks and sees what
You're
Chuck
such a
Norris has done with his life?
disappointment.
Probably.
Yeah.
I hope he is. He barely moves in Expendables 2. It's very funny. Like you can tell, like of the bunch of them, he's the most physically incapable because they just have him stand upright. I think the only shooting he does is he just walking, firing a shotgun.
Have you seen any of his 80s movies? Because that's not very different.
Well, in the
Well, around
case
house
of
every once in a while.
Expendables 2, I don't remember him shooting anybody while he was on screen. If my memory is correct, a bunch of people die off screen, and then he shows up at like
Oh, that's
randomly.
okay. There's
Yeah.
His introduction is he just shoots a bunch of people off screen and he walks on the camera. At
Yeah.
the end, he shows up for the final battle. He's like, "Yes, Chuck Norris is also here now."
Yeah,
That
he's.
sounds
I
right.
will look it up. He's old as shit, but yeah, like when he did all those, I can't even remember.
Mhm.
And I saw the canon movies. Like he's in his mid 40s when he did those.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, because he was
Because he was an actual like taekwondo,
Yeah.
taekwondo like champion in his 20s.
Right. Yeah, he had an entire career as like you said, like a champion taekwondo guy before he was ever
Yeah,
even in. Is it Fist of Fury? I can't remember which one.
Yeah,
It is.
he was born in 1940.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully he's dead.
No, he's not.
No, I'm
Oh
pretty
no!
sure he's
How is
alive.
he still alive?
You thought
Because
Chuck
he
Norris
doesn't
was dead?
drink.
Because
Yeah, Chuck
Christians
Norris is
live
alive.
forever.
I figured
No,
he was
no,
dead by now.
No,
Evangelical Christians live for a very long time.
Well, the other thing is, like,
Too long.
unlike his contemporaries, like, he didn't drink or do drugs. And he actually
Right.
worked out and was a martial artist.
Yes, it's the Ted Nugent problem, where it's like,
Yeah,
How-
Arlen nailed it. That's exactly what it is.
it's
Well, that
it's
was-
like
that was the
someone
thing,
who
like-
didn't do heroin and he's still alive to horrify us even now.
I bet you if you stood him next to Van Damme and Seagal, you would be like, I don't know the age differences here at all.
It's just I haven't seen or heard anything from Chuck Norris in so long. I figured he was one of those deaths that like happened quietly, and I was like, okay, whatever.
I think the internet would break.
Yeah, I think. Well, I
Yeah.
think there's a whole lot of idiots who would break the internet because like, oh, Chuck Norris isn't dead. He killed Death and blah, 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 blah.
Oh, yeah, never mind. And you know what? I don't want to be around when he dies.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, according to him, we'll all be burning in the blood that erupts from volcanoes as he's ascending to heaven.
Well, except for that illegitimate kid he has.
Oh yeah, but he didn't force her to have an abortion, so he's still okay.
Oh, but he was married that whole time.
He asked for forgiveness. Isn't that the way it works?
Oh, it's fine then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He'll just chuck Kundo like the devil if he goes to hell.
Who did I see recently that was like fucked off old ass action star? I can't remember what it was. I was going through Tubi and came across somebody.
That could be anybody.
Tubi being the wasteland that it is. My God.
Yeah. I mean, it could have been Yul Brynner for all you know.
Was it like Dolph? Was it Dolph Lundgren?
No.
The corpse of
on
Yul
people
Brynner.
on that group though, like I think like the first time I remember seeing Jean-Claude Van Damme after a while was when he popped up in that commercial and does a split on 2 trucks.
Oh, the Tostitos, yes. Well, that's after he did his resurgence, and he did like.
Doesn't he have a movie on Prime coming out?
He had a show.
He had a show.
An entire
I know
season of a show.
I know he had a show, but no, there is, I think, a new movie with Rob Van Dam. Rob Van Dam? God damn it.
Rob Van Dam.
Yes. Yeah.
I know there's a Netflix
He
movie,
reappeared out of that gutter, and
Yeah.
I thought he had a new movie out, but regardless, sorry, I completely killed him after that.
No, but no, I do remember seeing, like, because I'm subscribed to Netflix's YouTube, so I see all the thumbnails for their trailers, and there was one where it was prominently Van Damme, so maybe that's what you're thinking of.
It's The Last Mercenary.
Yeah.
Yep, it's on Netflix. You are correct. Yeah.
And he is also going to be in the next Minions movie. I believe he's the villain.
All right.
Cool. Cool.
Wait, who's going to be the next Minions?
Jean-Claude Van Damme. He plays Jean-Claude. But C-L-A-W-E-D.
Lou, you could tell me anybody has been in a Minions movie and I would believe you.
Yeah.
It's actually,
one of the,
yes,
I was going to say.
It's actually going to be Rob Van Dam. He's going to be in the new Minions movie. They bought him a bottle of Jack Daniels. Yeah, they bought him a bottle of Jack Daniels and some poppers.
He'll bring Sabu along. They'll both get arrested for having so much weed on them.
Oh my God. I'm just going to share a picture that, like, I'm on the IMDb and it says, like, here's an image from The Last Mercenary. This is definitely a comedy, but, like, I just love what they're doing because it's absolutely ridiculous. I hate that IMDb doesn't let me copy a photo. You son of a bitch. But if I find it, it's
Damn you, Bezos.
Has, like, past his shoulder length hair.
Oh no. Well, I mean, I'm looking at the poster on a tweet that I guess Netflix had put up, but yeah, it's "The Daddy of All Secret Agents" is the tagline for the movie.
I hate it.
Yep. And it's got a very not current Van Damme drawing along with what looks like some kids, so it looks like it's going to be that type of movie.
Yes, Schwarzenegger did one of these not too long ago.
I do think he is very good in Expendables 2.
Yeah.
He knows what he is.
And he's dialing it up, and like his accent is fucking on fire in that movie. Like it goes all over the place.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about this movie. That I actually watched the Amazon show, which I assume this is sort of in the same vein. And it just
it's the same Van Damme.
Yeah, and it wasn't that funny, which was what surprised me. Like, he's good in it, and I remember like there being a lot of action stuff that worked, but none of the jokes landed. It was everything else about it worked except for the jokes, which is kind of an important part. But like it's the director of all the Key and Peele stuff, and just like a really good team behind it. And it just did not play. So yeah, I don't know. I'm excited that they're actually doing MacGruber though, which is sort of the same vein. Yeah, MacGruber's getting a show. Did you see? Yeah, MacGruber,
with the whole cast.
Yeah, it's the entire original cast, and then somebody is coming back to play a character called like Sassoon Van Queef, or
Jesus.
something like that. Perfection, absolute perfection. What's the thing? Sam Elliott's gonna be in it. That's right. So is Lawrence Fishburne and Mickey Rourke.
I'm sorry,
right.
Lawrence who?
Lawrence Fishburne, star
He was
of
born
Apocalypse
of
Now,
fish.
He was
and
born in fish. Yes.
yes. Let's see. Mickey Rourke is playing villain Brigadier Commander Enos Queeth. Again, perfection, absolute perfection. So yeah, I'm very excited for that, which feels like it's in the same vein. And I believe it's everybody who worked on the movie as well. Yeah,
Makes me very happy.
that'd be fun.
MacGruber a lot.
MacGruber's so good.
Actually, speaking of Will Forte with the MacGruber thing, have any of you watched any of Sweet Tooth on Netflix yet?
No, I have not
No,
got a
Not
my
chance
yet.
yet.
roomies did though. They seem to be interested.
I
Oh.
watched the first episode and it veers wildly from the comic, but I think the choices they're making are actually smart. So it definitely has a much more optimistic feel to it, because the comic was very much like, hey, it's the post-apocalypse after a disease. You're all fucked. But yeah, it's I think it'd be worth checking out. Like that's not the best advertisement for it. You know, I've watched an episode. It would be worth checking out. But yeah, I think you guys should really check it out. It seems
Watch
like
or
it could be
something, I
good.
guess.
It's not that bad. But yeah, it's, you know, I've got comic hang-ups. So
Right. Yeah.
It's definitely
I have
on
a
my
similar-
list.
yeah. That and my wife and I started watching a show on HBO called Hacks, and it's
Oh, I've heard
Oh, is
about
that any
that.
good?
yeah, it's actually really fucking good. At least we really enjoyed it. I mean, mind you, we were a little bit stoned when we watched the first 3 episodes, so
Right.
that might have
Yeah.
had some bearing on our enjoyment of it. But I
Sure.
think the writing is actually really good there, and the main actress, I can't remember her name. She plays
Jean Smart.
Yes, yeah, she's fucking
Yeah.
phenomenal in it.
Yeah, she's what had me kind of interested. I was waiting for somebody to say that they thought it was good, so I'll probably check it out.
Yeah, you should.
But yeah, I love Jean Smart in fucking everything. I mean, we've talked about this before. Fucking Fargo season 2 and a billion other things. So
She's what's her name in Watchmen, right?
Yeah, Old Laurie, which is, I hate that I just have to say Old Laurie, but that technically is true.
And she's in Leap too.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was. Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. And Connor, you should watch it because it takes place in Vegas.
Oh, great. I'll probably look to see things I walk by all the time.
Yeah, most likely.
Right.
I have to deal with that all the time.
I don't have to deal with shit because I live in bumfuck Pennsylvania.
Currently dealing with the
I can count on one hand the movies that have been shot here, and the show Z Nation. No, Twilight's that's West Coast, bro. That's a different thing altogether. There's one scene of like Twilight 3 that's supposed to take place here, but it doesn't. No. It was a thing with me if you were my friend back in 2010 that the Red Dawn movie takes place here, but it was very clearly shot in Colorado.
That's the remake, right? Where they had to change all the things from China to Korea very strangely.
Yeah, they had to change it to North Korea because China, even then, was a gigantic problem to deal with if you were in the movie industry.
What a fucking terrible idea to begin with.
Yeah, and the remake is the one that stars the one guy from
Thor.
Was it Jake? Well, no, not that. I know Chris Hemsworth's in it, but no, the one guy from was the Nickelodeon show Drake and Josh. That one of the hosts. Yeah, it's the one that didn't get in trouble. Yeah, it's the guy who's going to be in the new Turner and Hooch too.
Hooch.
Yeah,
which is weird because, like, again, like before we started recording, like that original movie is what kind of killed John Milius's career, and for them to remake, that was his. They basically say like that's what killed his career.
It makes
I
sense
enjoyed that
because
movie.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, fans loved it.
yeah,
Hollywood hated it because it's
it
so
was
far right
yeah.
that like
Yeah, that's the thing. I think it actually did really well, but
oh yeah, it
that
was a
makes
hit. It was a
sense.
big hit.
But like it's
Avenge
weird.
me, boys. Avenge
Like
me.
it's like it's one of the rare times where like conservatives being like Hollywood tries to silence conservatives. It's one of the few times where like that actually did happen, if my memory
Yeah,
is
yeah.
correct.
Pretty much
Um,
like after that movie is like when he kind of got blackballed.
yeah. Yeah, he basically only worked with his friends. He only worked with Lucas, De Palma, and Spielberg from then on. And if they weren't associated, I believe anything he tried to do didn't really make it off the ground.
Yeah, he basically
Uh,
was just after that he was brought in to like just write for stuff. He couldn't be like a head writer or and he was never allowed to like direct anything after that basically.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Hollywood's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Wasn't
then he went-
Hemsworth in the remake?
Cancel
What?
culture's existed forever.
Wasn't Hemsworth in the fucking remake?
Yeah, he's
Yes.
the star of the remake.
Yeah, he plays a completely changed role of the Swayze character. Because he's supposed to be in the new one, he's like a Marine. And the original one, it's just like his older brother who's just like
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
douche that already graduated high school.
Yeah, he was like the football star when he was in high school. Wasn't
Yeah.
it? Something like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been a while since
Yeah.
I've seen Red Dawn, so
It's a wild fucking movie.
yeah. Drink this deer blood. Oh, it's not bad. It's not bad. Okay, C. Thomas Howell.
And what's her name is Jennifer Grey, and what's the other actress that's in it?
Ali Sheedy, is it?
No, is it Ali Sheedy?
I
I
can't
think
remember.
it is one of those Brat Packers. I don't know if it was her or like Elizabeth Shue.
No, it wasn't
Or-
Elizabeth Shue. Yeah.
What's the other one from Back to the Future?
Oh God, you mean the woman that played Jennifer before, like in the first one, and then wasn't her in the second or third one?
I'm looking it up on right now.
I
don't think it was
Okay.
Ali.
I could have sworn it was.
So, real surprising bit of trivia that I forgot. Milius actually wrote one of the Tom Clancy adaptations.
Shocking.
Which is it's shocking to me that he didn't write all of them.
Yeah, and it was Leah Thompson.
Oh, okay.
So it was the mom from Back to the Future.
Oh, he wrote a Geronimo movie with Walter Hill. Huh.
Yeah.
That's a
Well, and the
combination.
last thing he kind of did was he wrote Spartacus. Like he was one of the main writers on Spartacus.
Well, yeah, Rome. Yeah.
Was it
he's
Rome?
Rome. He's the creator of Rome.
Okay. Those shows blend in my head.
Yeah. He wrote that. He wrote the 1991 Conan video game.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that was the thing in the doc because he did not write Conan the Destroyer. He only did the first one.
The second one isn't as good. It's not even R-rated.
Yeah.
Why would you watch it? It's terrible.
The second one is a gigantic piece of shit. Like it's one of the worst things I've ever seen.
I don't remember
at least
that
as an
one at all.
adult.
The second one's the one that has Grace Jones and
Wilt Chamberlain.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
And
The
Andre
cast
the
is the
Giant
only
plays
good
a
part of it.
monster.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, which monster does Andre the Giant play?
He
The one at
plays
the
thing
end.
at the end.
Oh,
Yeah, the creature at
mirror
the
thing?
end.
That's where the picture
No.
where Arnold is standing in between
Yes.
Andre and Wilt Chamberlain is from.
No, so the
Oh.
very end of the movie, like there's this
The thing with
odd-
the horn.
Yes, the
Yes.
thing with the horn, that was Andre.
Oh God.
And it's such a bad use of Andre because you cannot tell. I didn't
No.
know that until
He's just doing
years
like
later.
a stunt guy.
Yeah, like you could have thrown literally anybody into that suit. It would not have mattered.
No, they needed somebody for the height. Here, I'm gonna share the picture
Yeah.
here.
Well,
yeah, but
that's-
like even then they had like stilts that they could have put him in. It would have been dangerous, but like you could put a guy who's like 5'6" in that suit with stilts and it would have the exact same effect.
They just fed Andre 64 beers.
And they had a
just
bathtub
put him
for
in a
him
rubber
to
suit. Exactly.
They had a bathtub for
Just
him
put
to
him in
shit
a
in.
rubber suit.
So,
And
yeah, I
just
shared the picture. Look how tiny Arnold looks between these two men.
Well, Arnold's not the tallest guy on earth.
I feel like he's like 5'9".
I'm taller than him.
But he's not like tiny.
I'm not.
Well, to be fair, two of these three men, I'm pretty sure,
I'm looking
at least,
online.
1,500
They're saying
children. So
they have Arnold at 6'2".
Damn it, he is taller than me.
Yeah. Both of those guys are
like
those are two 7-footers.
Well, that checks out because Michael Biehn is he's actually like 5'7" or 5'8". He's pretty average. In my head, he's short, but he's actually not. So, yeah, that checks out.
Because Wilt was like the first 7-footer. He's like 7'2", and Andre's like 7'2", 7'3".
Crazy.
Dude, in that picture, how many women did those three men?
Oh God.
Because that's like the Wilt Chamberlain thing. They say it's in like 5 digits.
Well, yeah, I think a large number of people have Wilt Chamberlain DNA.
Yeah, I think we talked about this in an episode that there's a conspiracy. There's a sort of conspiracy theory that he's the reason of like the rise in NBA talent.
Yes, we absolutely talked about this. It might have been like at 3 a.m. Lou is the only one where I'm like, I don't know if he did. I mean, I'm sure a lot of ladies were on top of him. I don't know how many children he actually produced. I feel like we would notice a bunch of like people with gigantism.
With Andre?
Yeah. So I don't.
WCW was billing Paul White as the son of the Giant when he first joined that company.
Mm.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, they would call him Andre's child on air.
Jesus Christ! Did they have to pay the estate?
Are you kidding, Lou? Are you joking?
No, like to use Andre's name.
I mean, the wrestling industry, they don't give a shit about it.
Because they probably signed some contract that says we can use your name whenever we want and we don't have to pay you shit. Like, Vince knew how to squeeze the money.
Well, that wasn't Vince's company then, though. This is when Turner was running it, like WCW.
I think it's one of those things that like he entered into wrestling legends territory, so he was there was probably just like, oh, well, you're spreading his story, so it's fine, go ahead. I don't know, or his family were all too big and they didn't understand enough English because they only speak giantese,
like French, the French dialect of it.
Yeah, if Hunter were here, he could translate a sentence for us, but he's not, unfortunately.
Connor, did Andre actually have any kids?
No.
Wow, that is shocking.
I might be misremembering this, but I watched the HBO documentary. I think he might have been sterile. I think that might be a part of it.
Part of his gigantism that he had?
It might
have been. So much love to give, but I can't.
Well, I mean, I think that's a thing. Or maybe he just didn't want to have children because usually conditions like that tend to be genetic.
Or he was built like a coffee can, and just no one could take his girth.
Oh, God.
I think both things are equally possible.
Now the question is, what coffee can popped in your brain when you were picturing that?
Folgers.
The one with the incest involved.
Sounds fucking terrifying.
Can't wait to fuck my brother this Christmas.
Is having sex with your sister.
Is Andre's
Is Andre's plug?
I said cup.
Oh my God.
But no, I envision a world where somehow all three of their genetic materials are combined in some crazy threesome and the perfect person is born.
It's like a 7'2", like chiseled Arnold, but like, what would you even get from Andre? Just like heft?
Isn't the combination of those people like a Warhammer character? Isn't that the combination? A Warhammer Marine,
Space
basically?
Marine. Yeah, Warhammer 40k Space Marine. Yeah. Yeah, because they are like 12 feet tall and they weigh like 400 pounds.
You would get
and they live for like
character.
2 years.
What was that, Connor?
I said you would get any Gears of War male character.
Yeah, that's actually pretty accurate too. Yeah. So, do we want to wrap it up, guys?
Sure, why not?
Sure, yeah.
I've been Connor. I'll be back to Movie Dumpster soon, and I'm only now catching up, so I don't have a whole lot of plugs, and we still haven't reconvened to kind of plan stuff out yet. So there you go.
All right. There should be a new Lost Horror podcast. The planning has been scarce lately, so look for a new episode around when this comes out. Yeah, that's my plug.
I've been Eric Fedorchak. You can find me at Eric_Fedor on Instagram. There's pictures of dogs and food and cats and comics. Floating around the Phantom Zone, doing Phantom Zone things. And other than that, I'm just thinking about Andre's sweet Folgers plug.
You're not even the last one to go. How dare you?
I'm looking Gonzalez. I just shared a picture of, I think they made like a bronze thing of Wilt Chamberlain's hands that you could see at a museum.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
I looked at a picture. He could palm a basketball with his thumb and his middle finger.
That's insane.
Only.
You could crush a man's skull with those hands.
Yeah.
It'd be like
yeah. You can check out the comic show, which I think we're going to do like a Hellfire Gala wrap up at the end of the month, because that's all going on, which is really cool with X-Men. And then we are watching Masters of the Universe soon to finish out our canon genre films.
With the Hellfire. With the Hellfire Gala, I was going to say you should do it video and you should all dress up.
Dress up?
Yes.
Do I have to do a costume change like Emma? I think she's like at 4.
Oh,
I think they're saying.
I didn't realize that.
Oh yeah, they're doing it like it's like an award show kind of a thing. It's very cute and funny.
Ridiculous. I mean, I'm gonna read it, but ridiculous.
Oh, the best part is like there's a bunch of characters who like bailed on it, and the thing finds them, and they're just upstairs playing cards, and he gets all like pissy that they didn't invite him. And it's like an AIM guy, Ben Grimm, I think like Colossus and somebody else are just playing poker on the roof.
Yes, cool. Put 2 of the heaviest Marvel characters on the roof of a building. Yeah.
Well, it's a building made out of like crazy mutant space plant.
Yeah. Still. No. Well, since Lou forgot to include it, also don't forget to go to a young_Kame. That's YUNG_KAME. And just
ask him if he can palm a basketball.
Yes. Ask him about how many illegitimate children he has. Also, on with the note of Kame, the dear departed hunter, who's no longer with us, he had started a video game podcast, and he only did 1 episode so far, but he's dead now, so you'll never hear anymore.
Yeah. Well, he did record 1,000 episods, and I may or may not be in charge
You had to get away from that child support, most illegitimate children.
Exactly, yeah.
That's not counting the video game podcast we recorded with him last week, right, Eric?
What's that?
That's not counting the video game podcast we recorded last week. Yeah, because we're good enough to be on the Phantom Zone version, but not on his new Kame Club version.
He's trying to keep it more organized, I think, and shorter. So if
so you're saying we're disorganized and we're like verbose?
Yeah.
Lou, how dare you state facts? How dare you point out the reality?
You sure you guys don't want to start talking about a really bad movie for the next 20 minutes while we're trying to leave?
You know what? Just for that, me and Lou, we're just going to shut up. I'm not going to say anything other than bye.
Bye, everybody.
Adios.
Ryan Reynolds glistening abs in this coming movie.